Hey there, want to give you guys some help with 8.2, where we're looking at writing equations of polynomials. We're going to use these skills quite a bit when we move to section 8.4, so we definitely want to hone these quickly. So first thing, this one problem I'm doing here is similar to number 2 on the homework, number 5 on the homework, as far as, and even number 4 on the homework, as far as like it's, starting with a graph from, or number 4 you're supposed to graph it using Desmos first, but then looking at the graph to write the polynomial in factored form. And so, one thing you want to note is the x-intercepts of your polynomials, or of your graph. So, seeing here we have one at -4, we've got one here at -1, we've got another one here at 3. So it's kind of starting the equation, y equals or f of x equals, but then we're going to have this kind of mystery value a, this that we don't know yet, but let's kind of put it there. And then since one of the zeros is at -4, we're going to write x plus 4. That'll be one of our factors. So we need to make sure we switch the sign. The next one's -1. So I'm going to write x plus 1 is our factor. And then that last 0, the x-intercept there is 3, so we're going to write x minus 3. So from the -4, have x plus 4. From the -1, have x plus 1. And from the +3, have x minus 3. So always watching those signs switch. And so here's kind of where our equation is going to start. And we still need to figure out what a is, where we can move forward. And so what we're going to do is take advantage of that. If we take all of the numbers right here, so just the numbers, including a, and we multiply them, we should end up with the y-intercept. So you can see that the y-intercept here is at 6. So 6 should equal a times, again, just want to take each of these numbers here. So a times 4 times 1 times -3. So 4 times 1 times -3 is -12. So I get 6 equals -12 times a, or -12a. So I want to divide both sides by -12. And so then we find out that a is equal to -1/2. And so now that I know that, I could say that y equals -1/2 times x plus 4 times x plus 1 times x minus 3. So there's my polynomial in factored form. Oops, let me grab these real quick. And so then I want to take that and I want to write it in general form. So basically it's going to be just a bunch of distribution. Main thing to remember is that whenever we multiply, we cannot multiply more than 2 things at a time. So I can't take this 2 and multiply that 1/2 and multiply it here and here and here. We can't do that. I can take any, if I want to take these 2 things and distribute there, if I want to take the 1/2 times this, I want to take the 1/2 times that, I can do any of those things individually. I can't just do them all at the same time though. Or I can take these 2 things and multiply them, or these 2 things and multiply them, or I can take this times this. I prefer to start with 2 of the factors, so I'm going to multiply those 2 first. It doesn't really matter, but this is what I prefer to do. So I'm going to take x plus 4 times x plus 1, and we've done that many times. X times x is x squared, and x times 1 is 1x, and 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 1 is 4. So that gives me x squared, and then we got some like terms here, plus 5x plus 4. And then the x minus 3 comes down, and -1/2 comes down. So again, I have 3 things here, this, and this, and this, so I can't multiply all 3 at the same time. I can only do 2 at a time. Again, I prefer to do the factors first, so I'm going to do this next. And I showed you guys the rectangle method. I think it's a good method for those of you that struggle a little bit to keep things organized. So the idea here is I have something that's 2, a binomial, times something that's 3. So I'm going to set a 2 by 3 rectangle up. Oops. And so on the side goes the x minus 3, and then on the top goes x squared plus 5x plus 4. And let's do the multiplication in here. So x times x squared is x cubed. And then x times 5x, so positive 5x, 5x squared. And x times positive 4 will be positive 4x. I do think it's a good idea to put the plus signs here. -3 times x squared would be -3x squared. -3 times 5x is negative 15x, and then negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. Do have some like terms here to combine. So I'm going to bring that over here to the left. So I'm going to have x cubed. 5x squared minus 3x squared is 2x squared. 4x's minus 15x's is negative 11x's, and minus 12. And so you notice I put that in parentheses because I'm still not done multiplying. I still have that half on the outside. So the parentheses should not be gone until you're completely done multiplying. So now I'm just going to distribute that half. Easy peasy. So I got y equals negative 1/2 x cubed. Negative 1/2 times 2 is negative 1, so I have negative 1x squared. And then negative 1/2 times 11. So I take positive, half of 11 is 5.5 x's. And the negative 1/2 times negative 12 would be positive 6. So there's my equation in general form. So I went from here to here, brought that over here, brought these two down here, brought that over here, and then brought that down there. So kind of sneaked around a little bit there. All right, let's look at the next one. So we're at the after we did one step, essentially here we just need to figure out what a is. So we're going to use that same method how we found a here. All right, so if y equals a times x minus 5 times x plus 2 times x plus 1 times x minus 1 goes through 0, negative 20, find the value of a, and then write the polynomial in general form. So this is kind of like 5. You can notice it looks very much like 3 as far as structure, but we have the factored form already. We kind of like are in the same. This right here is the y-intercept, so that negative 20 is what all of these things should multiply to. So negative 20 equals a times negative 5 times negative 2 times 1 times negative 1. So I'm going to simplify this right side. So positive 10 times 1, so positive 10 times negative 1 would be negative 10. So I have negative 10a equals negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 10. So I get a is 2. So now I have y equals 2 times x minus 5 times x minus 2 times x plus 1 times x minus 1. And so there's got a lot of distribution to do here. That's really all it is. Even more than last time because we have 5 things that are multiplying. Again, I like to do the factors first. I'm actually going to do 2 sets at a time, or kind of at the same time. The 2's is going to drop down, and then x minus 5 times x plus x minus 2 is going to be x squared. And then I'm going to have negative 2x's and negative 5x's, so it's going to give me negative 7x's. And then I have negative 5 times negative 2, which is positive 10. So kind of doing that a little bit faster here. And the next one, x plus 1 times x minus 1. So we get x times x, which of course is x squared. And then you get x times negative 1 and x times positive 1. So we have negative 1x and positive 1x. So those actually cancel each other out. So I don't have a middle term on this one. And then I have positive 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So I get x squared minus 1. So now I have these two. I'm going to multiply. I'm going to leave the 2 for last. I'm going to set up a rectangle here. Make that a little taller. Some space to work. So I'm going to have x squared minus 1, and then x squared minus 7x plus 10. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative 7x is negative 7x cubed. X squared times 10 is positive 10x squared. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times negative 7x is positive 7x. Negative 1 times 10 is negative 10. So, like terms, the only thing I got here is x squareds. So over here in the parentheses, I'm going to come to the left side. So in parentheses, I have x to the 4th. I have negative 7x cubes. I have 10x squareds minus 1x squared, so that's 9x squareds. I have 7x's and minus 10. And then on the outside of that, I got a 2. So I'm just going to distribute the 2. That's easy peasy. So 2x to the 4th minus 14x cubed plus 18x squared plus 14x minus 20. So there's our equation in general form. So we found a first, and then we took that, plugged it in, and I started distributing. And then I took those two and distributed them to each other, and then went to here and then distributed the 2 out. So lots and lots of distribution. So not too bad. Been distributing for years. You got it. See you later.